Good evening. This is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. Today is Tuesday, June 27th, 2006. And as we had seen in the earlier video, or at least you had heard, I guess, in the earlier video, today was another brutal day for the market. And that should not have come as a surprise. As I've been stressing, news and surprises tend to follow the direction of the trend. The trend is clearly lower. Looking at the cues right now, we see that it's a classic stair step lower with one level of prior support acting as resistance as it gets tested right here, and then this prior level of support acting as resistance before another thrust lower, and that's where we are right now. When we look at that 10-minute time frame here on the QQQQ, we can see the head and shoulders pattern that I had outlined the last couple days, and how we were watching the neckline at 37.90, thinking that once it broke below that, it was going to be lights out for the market, time to get very defensive. That's exactly what did happen. So you shouldn't have been taken by surprise by that. The height of this pattern is $1.10. We take $1.10 and subtract that from the breakdown point, which is 37.90, giving us a target of 36.80. Now, 36.80 target doesn't mean that if you got short the cues, you just put in your buy order at 36.80 and then walk away from the market. What we have to do now is manage the trade and set our stops according to the definition of a downtrend, which is lower highs and lower lows. So maybe your stop would be around this level right here now. So you might want to give it a little bit more room because the cues can get a little bit choppy at times. But bottom line is it's in a downtrend, and it remains, as usual, like I've been saying, guilty till proven innocent. The spiders have shown this on the 10-minute time frame here, that is, this continuation pattern, which is the triangle, symmetrical triangle. And when we look at a daily time frame, we can see, you can't see it as good in here, but one of the key ingredients here is the fact that it's been showing these higher lows and lower highs on diminishing volume, showing that there's not a lot of aggressive buying going on in here, which left it vulnerable to the breakdown that we've seen today. Now, based on what I had outlined earlier, just to show you, I've taken this high right here of, I think I just called it 126, and we go down to this level here, and we can call that 123.5. So we've got the height of this pattern, in other words, is 2.5 points. If we take 2.5 points and subtract it from where it broke down here at 124.5, that will give us a price objective near 122 on the S&P. And that would clearly continue this market in the downtrend, as it would make another lower low. So the pattern of lower highs and lower lows is uninterrupted. And now what we're going to do is take a look at some stocks for some opportunities. As usual, we'll start out with the longs, not because I think there's any special opportunity on the long side, quite the opposite. But we're looking at NIC Incorporated, symbol EGOV. And I've looked at this one quite a bit over the last month or so, because it's one of the few stocks that's really been holding up. Here's a monthly time frame, the weekly time frame, and the daily time frame with simple stuff: resistance becoming support, the direction of the moving averages is all higher. And on the 10-minute time frame, what we want to see now is we want to see the stock get back up above $7.30. In fact, let's take a closer look, see what this high exactly is. So 731 actually. So if it trades at 732, I would buy it. Put my stop worst case under 720, so risking about 12 cents on NIC. FSII is FSI International. I don't know what happened here. I didn't bother to check the news, but there's big volume on the way up here. It's consolidating on very in a very narrow range on lighter volume, telling me that there's still the potential for upside. When we look at the weekly time frame, we see these lows in here near the $7 level, and I think we could definitely see a push up towards $7 a share. So let's take a look at a 5-minute time frame and see what it has to do to get these buyers in control. We can see that the moving averages are crisscrossing in here a bit, so that tells us there's indecision. However, I think if it takes out yesterday afternoon's high near this level here, which is 665, we could buy this stock. So maybe at 666, Damien's number, we could buy this stock and put our stop underneath the 52-cent level. So let's buy it at $6.67. Is that right? $6.67. It needs to get above Actually, we're going to buy it at the devil number itself. We'll buy it at 666 with our stop at 651. So, feeble attempt at humor. AT&T Corporation is in what looks to be a pretty good developing uptrend in here. We've got this prior level of resistance, which it took out. That's now struggling to act as support, and it looks like it's doing a good job of. We've got the 10-day above the 20, above the 50, telling me on this time frame the short-term, intermediate, and longer-term trends are higher. And we'd be looking at least for a test of this high near 28. Let's see if we can justify that with a low-risk entry. So we can see here that the last couple days, there's been resistance at this level. I just moved my trend line by accident, but at this level here, which is 27.53, and then today 27.49. So let's say 27.54 is where we want to buy this stock. And looking at a 5-minute time frame to drill in a little bit closer, let's put our stop below this low of 40 cents. So let's buy the stock at 27.54 with a stop at 27.38 for AT&T Corporation. ENER, we've been looking at this one as a short sale candidate, and it's bounced up to this prior level of support, which now looks to be acting as resistance in here. It's not perfect, but bottom line is it's still making these lower highs in here. So when we look at that on a shorter term time frame, here's what we're looking at. And we can see that this little uptrend line was broken in here today as well. So another symmetrical triangle that kind of got broken. Looking at the weekly time frame, looks like it's still got some room to the downside. Looking at a 5-minute time frame, what do we want to see here? Well, what I'd like to see would be a rally up towards this $36 level and then a failure. So another one of these little moves like this, and then to capture the short, let's take a look at a 2-minute time frame. Another little move like this, and then to capture that short sale right in here as it starts heading lower again with a stop like that. So if we can rally up towards maybe 35.90, make a lower high, and then fail, I think that's a good place to consider a short sale in ENER. FLSH, this stock gapped lower. These stocks that gap, especially after this gap higher, you can look at this as a big, what they call an island reversal pattern. Although an island reversal is usually more like this one, where it holds up there for just 2 or 3 days. But the point is, all these people got trapped up in here. Okay? Every person that bought up in here got trapped, and it gapped down, rallied up a little bit, and now it looks like the sellers are regaining control. So when we look at, here this rally here, and then this sideways area, what we're looking at on the 10-minute time frame is this nice uptrend distribution, and we see the sellers took control of this stock yesterday afternoon, but I don't think it's too late. I think we've still got some pretty significant downside here. So looking at a 5-minute time frame, maybe a rally up towards 29.40 to 29.50, and then a failure. Worst case stop right above this level here at about 29.63 or so. But let's see what happens if the stock can rally up and then fail. That's ideally what we're looking for. Something that would make a lower high than this, maybe rally up to 29.45 and then fail, and then maybe even add to it, breaking below these lows. Last one we're going to look at in the interest of time and hopefully getting this video uploaded is Monster.com. This one might even be just a little bit too obvious. I don't know. It certainly looks like a classic textbook short sale setup. It rallied on diminishing volume. The volume's gotten real light in here. Breaking back below that 10-day moving average, I think is really going to hurt the stock, and that's going to occur. Let's take a look in here. I think we could get, and really, I mean, the best place to short it would have been probably below there. Second best place right here as it's just starting to decline again. So let's look for a rally on Monster up towards, let's take a look at a 2-minute time frame. And this is probably going to put me over 10 minutes if I waste too much time looking at this. Let's just say, let's get it up to about 42.30, look for a failure, and then look to sell the stock short. My name is Brian Shannon, this Alpha Trends. Thanks for your time.